Browns have made their first external free agent signing, really their first signing in general so far in NFL free agency, and it is veteran offensive tackle Cornelius Lucas at about, 12:45 in the morning. I swear, before we talk about the signing, Andrew Berry likes to punish Browns content creators, media members every year in free agency by signing someone at the latest possible hour just so that everyone has to wake up and do a little bit of work and go back to sleep. So I got out of bed to film this video so that everyone can know a little bit about Cornelius Lucas. So let's do that. First, we'll talk about who he is as a player, a little bit of background information on him, and then we'll talk about him in the Browns roster and how he fits on this depth chart and whatnot. But longtime NFL vet, he is going to turn 34 years old over the summer. He was with the Lions to start his career, then goes to the Rams, then goes to the Saints, then goes to the Bears, and he has spent the last 5 years with the Washington Commanders, serving as a backup offensive tackle who has had his number called a bunch. This past season for the Commies, he started 7 games. He's played a little bit of right tackle, he's played a little bit of left tackle, so he offers some versatility. But it's a 2-year contract worth up to $10 million. Don't look at the $10 million and be like, I can't believe they just gave this guy $10 million. A lot of that's probably up in incentives, and if he does not get onto the field because the Browns are healthy at offensive tackle, then it's not going to be a $10 million contract. But that's a little bit background on Cornelius Lucas, who I think going off of the offensive line stats and metrics out there when it comes to PFF and pass rush win rate and run, whatever these numbers are that ESPN cooks up, which I swear they can spit out any number and no one could disagree with it. He graded out as a pretty good offensive tackle last year. In his career, he has 38 starts. In his career, he has 54 starts. 38 of those have come with the Commanders and the football team, and maybe even not only the Redskins, since joining Washington in 2021. So he has seen much more action as a starter later in his career than earlier in his career. But the Browns looking to add some depth to the offensive line. By the way, sorry if you hear my dishwasher running in the background. I just can't really avoid that. But they added some much-needed depth to the offensive line. I think this is Andrew Berry learning from his mistakes last year. I think it was last offseason that he shared a quick little anecdote with the media that he keeps like a journal, and he often goes back and looks at what he wrote before just to learn from some mistakes and not repeat those mistakes. And I think in his journal he probably wrote last year, not a good idea betting on Jed Wills, DeJuan Jones, and Jack Conklin all returning from knee surgeries to be ready for week 1. And he's kind of been pretty, open about that when speaking to the media, when saying, I'm not going to, make my same mistake again. Where last year he was very confident they'll be ready to roll, and they were not ready to roll for week 1. So this year, I think he is doubling down a little bit, going, there's not going to be a Jermaine Ifedi or an Akeem Adeniji signing just to hold down the fort for a little bit of training camp. We're going to go out and we're going to sign someone with some real starting experience, like Cornelius Lucas, so that if Jones is not ready for week 1 as the left tackle comes off knee surgery, he got a meniscus cleanup over the offseason, we've got a much better backup plan in place. So that's kind of my thoughts and analysis on the Cornelius Lucas signing as a player, who he is, which is a longtime NFL backup who's had some opportunities to start, but he's never really been viewed as a true, week 1 to week 18 starter. The most amount of games he's ever started in a season was 12 for the Commanders back in 2022 when he played right tackle, but he's played all over the offensive line. So if Conklin were to go down, and James Hudson, by the way, who left in free agency for the Giants, I don't think it's a coincidence that the same day, well, almost the same day, it's technically now Tuesday, but basically the same first day of free agency, the Browns lose their swing tackle for the last 4 years. They go out and replace him immediately with a new swing tackle, but a little bit of a, I wouldn't say better one, but more, experience or higher profile one in Lucas, who has a lot of experience with 54 starts, 129 appearances throughout his 11-year career as he enters his 12th NFL season. So there's the breakdown on Lucas as a player and where he fits on the Browns offensive line, which for now is a backup, but I think there's a real chance he could start week 1 at left tackle. Are we not going to learn our mistake as well from the last offseason? I'm not going to guarantee DeJuan Jones at 400-ish pounds is going to have that knee ready to support him for the first game of the season. Joel Bitonio did say something to the likes of Jones is at a very good weight right now. I think last year Jones came in way overweight. 25 pounds extra tacked on, and the mobility and the conditioning and the just pure athleticism was not there with that extra weight. And that was some concern people had coming out of Ohio State was, could he get his weight down to a more controllable and playable level for how big he is at 6'9" and is just pure mantis. I mean, he is ginormous. We all know that. So that's the, like I said, breakdown on Lucas as a player, but also where he fits on the offensive line is, not just a swing tackle and offensive tackle, but as someone who really could be that week 1 starter if Jones is not ready. So James Hudson left in free agency. I don't believe I've seen any other Browns free agents sign elsewhere. Safety Bubba Bolden, who I doubt many people even remember, he was on the practice squad. He signed with the Vikings. Our Vikings guy, Patrick Seatman, came up to me. He's like, what can you tell me about Bubba Bolden? I was like, absolutely nothing. He was a practice squad at best safety for the Browns. So, yeah, there's that for you. But thank you very much, Andrew Berry. I know you're doing it to screw with us at this point. There is just no way at nearly 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, you're like, if I don't get this done, someone's going to swoop in and take 34-year-old Cornelius Lucas from me. No, I think he takes a little bit of satisfaction out of all of you media members. Find something to criticize me for, ridicule me for. So if I can send it back to you without me losing my job over it, yeah, how about a nice 12:45 in the morning free agent signing? Make everyone get out of the bed and make a video about it or write an article about it. So I'm going to go back to sleep now. Cornelius Lucas, welcome to the Browns. Look forward to probably seeing you at some point. Just knowing the Browns' track record at tackle the last few years, they have not had much stability there. I mean, since Jack Conklin returned from injury, he held down the right side of the offensive line, but he's been in and out of the lineup over his time in Cleveland. Jed Wills is not coming back in my estimation, and I don't trust DeJuan Jones to stay healthy for all 17 games when he's 2 years into his career and he has gone down with season-ending knee injuries both seasons. So there's that. But Lucas, welcome to Cleveland, like I said, and everyone watching right now, go back to sleep. Or if you're a normal person, you're probably seeing this in the morning. And in that case, I'll see you in a few more hours as we are live back again on the channel for day 2 of NFL free agency.